Hi everyone, this is Frank Demore with the Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, and I'm going to point out right now something that I wrote to you in my post of July 7th of 2009. The warning that I gave, why I write warnings about crops being destroyed. And also, you could see back in 2009, I was talking about the unrest that was growing, and obviously from the first video you saw today, that unrest is continuing and spreading in the United States. But in this post that I gave back in 2009, this is the part that I'm going to be quoting from, but I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for you, and this is what I wrote. Now, if this is the first time you saw me at this YouTube channel, you can go to my website right here, and a little later on today, and you'll be able to read the entire post and everything that I'm writing, and you'll be able to download my book, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth, for free. But this is what I wrote. In Matthew 24:7, Jesus told us that in the end times we are going to witness famines. In Revelation 6:6, Jesus also shows us that the price of food is going to be so high that a person will have to work all day just for a very small amount of food. The people who have been coming to my site know I have warned them to watch what happens to the crops worldwide. And when you read the entire Word of God, you understand that all the signs of the last days that include what will cause the food to skyrocket in the last days. Now, if Jesus told us that the sun is going to scorch the earth and there would be droughts and water shortages and storms and famines and pestilence and long hours of work for a handful of food, as we see in Revelation chapter 6, verse 6, where he says you'll be working all day long for a quart of wheat, then, one can conclude the results of these signs will be the effects on food supplies. And this is what I'm showing you, and this is one of the reasons why I wrote this post, watch what happens with the crops. Now, Mexico has, let me go to this one first. Mexico, or in El Salvador, you see this article on the October 26th. It's talking about the floods and the crops have been destroyed there. So I'm going to put the link at my site so you'll be able to read the whole entire article. But El Salvador has been plummeted with storms. It says the United Nations has launched an emergency appeal to help the estimated 300,000 people in El Salvador after heavy rains caused widespread flooding. And this is one of the things that I mentioned over and over in many of my previous posts about how the crops will be destroyed and taken out by the storms that are coming, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Now, when you scroll down into this article, you'll see the flood risk. It'll give you a bunch of information about the amount of crops that are being destroyed. For example, it will take weeks for the government to access the full economic impact on the floods. Industry insiders say at least 40% of El Salvador's crops were destroyed. And when you destroy crops, what happens? Well, if you have less food, the price of that food, whatever crops you have left, goes up. This goes hand in hand with what Jesus told us. And then when you go down, the women here tell you, for example, that the cost is going up. Before it started raining, the prices were lower. And I would be able to buy corn for $14, and you'll see here it's 220 pounds. And now it costs $25. Just an indication that the food prices are definitely going up. So if you want to read this whole entire article and get a good understanding of what's happening, you'll see that other information, 35% of the corn harvest is at risk, 60% of the beans. And believe me, that we're on the road to see Revelation chapter 6:6 for sure. Now, we're talking about the storms. Here's a little bit more information about what's happening for Hurricane Rina.
Hurricane warnings are out along Mexico's Gulf Coast as Hurricane Rina heads for land. Workers are boarding up and many tourists are heading out as the storm, now a Category 2, bears down on Mexico's most popular tourist region.
There you go.